All right, day 15, right? Disclaimer, as always, I try to keep this under 15 minutes. I say whatever I want. I'm trying to build the perfect business for you. It's been business ownership, you know. And I would like to say that, well, thank God this microphone now works with this phone. So there was an issue for the first few videos. Now it works. Everything works. Good. All right. The URL. So you bought the domain, you own the domain, you're paying yearly for the registrar, okay? Like I said, Namecheap, probably the best place. You have the DNS pointed, Cloudflare, right? You have it protected. So you have an SSL certificate somehow. Make sure you do for your domain. This is your location of where it all started, your .com, right? So let's say, for example, we'll use the automated method. And I'm going to do this in as fast as I can because there's so much to talk about, but I'm trying to make it so that I'm going to say some keywords here that I will refer to later on in other videos or podcasts that it makes sense, okay? So like we've got the automated method.com, okay? So remember it reads this way from com, then your domain, and then the period, whatever, okay? If you're only listening to this, you can't see what I'm saying. I'm also away from the microphone. But anyway, so that domain is hosted for the web content, DigitalOcean. Why? Reflector.digital, they built, the team there built the site custom because I didn't want to put it on a platform and I didn't want to use WordPress, which is now a platform as well, okay? Why? Well, I can throw them under the bus if I have a custom site. If the automated method is custom, which is like the way that I think a lot of sophisticated sites should be done, well, at least you can refer to it like as if we know what we're doing instead of building the site on some of these platforms, which may be the most shortcut, but that is what you might want, okay? So what I'm meaning is, now that you see these pieces building up to this designed page or this experience, it may be better for you to use WordPress, Wix, or Squarespace. I'm going to target Squarespace. Why? I love the integrations and I love the marketing and I love how easy it is for a lot of the things to teach. Wix is very similar. WordPress is similar too if you're using them for that hosting. So that means that you basically forward this, or this site is now connected to a platform with like an A record. It doesn't matter if you don't understand what I mean. I'm just saying that now you have your web host, okay? And now that you have your web host, basically that is going to be the URL, okay? Here's the thing. This is where I'm going to get real fucking serious. A lot of time and energy is spent in an ROI-less place while you're here. Sure, you're going to need some graphic design if you need a new logo or you need some sort of aesthetic for this. Sure, you're going to need a copywriter because you're not going to be very good at writing some of these things, so they're probably going to help you with the story, the branding of the website. I get it, okay? But we're talking about how do we, as owners, build something, wireframe something that's easier, path of least resistance, and also future-proof, and that we get what we're paying for and why we made these decisions, all right? So by calling this the URL, it kind of opens up a few more terms. Landing page, okay? A lot of web development firms, companies, would call your whole website like a rebrand or web development 101, right? Let's just refer to it as a landing page, meaning that when people go to the domain.com in their browser, wherever, they end up somewhere. What is that somewhere for? It's for advertising and marketing and telling a story or whatever for your services and your products. We get it. Treat it like it's a landing page, and then we can open up Pandora's box, as I always say. Because now we can call it an operational landing page. That means that everything that you can tap into the inside, under the hood of that URL, is available as an integration. Google Analytics, for example, tracking that stuff. Your social icons at the bottom, as they always are, right? Those are links to certain things like YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, whatever, Facebook. All it means is that would be there. You got the Google Analytics. Check this out. You're also going to have these other things that can be embedded or integrated into the URL. Those are operational, right? So that's why I like to call it the operational landing page. Makes it so much easier now. Because when we discuss this later on, if there's something that can be tapped into the website, we don't have to call it this monster. We can just refer to it as your operational landing page, and we just integrate things or embed them. You see what I'm saying? It's not a landing page per se, but the understanding changes for you, the owner, so you know what it's for. Okay? And also it's so much easier now as I keep talking why we want to call it that. Because as far as I'm concerned, if there are anything you can embed, anything you can integrate that makes it easier once the person, the customer, potential client or customer goes to the website and you're already grabbing data integrated through there for other purposes, that's what you want, okay? Operational landing page, even though it may have more than one page. You get the idea. Okay, so now that we're here, let's think of other embedded integrations you might have. You might have a web form. You might have some sort of call to action. There's so many. It could be Typeform it's linked to. It could be right into your CRM. There's so much, okay? And it's just like also inside another platform like another SaaS product, which is funny. The web hosting platforms are like SaaS themselves, right? Wix, WordPress, Squarespace. And so if you log in, you can basically attach the administration to a web development firm that specializes in Squarespace, for example. So that means now you just have an agent that's doing that for you, maintaining that part of your whole ecosystem, which is the web. And it makes it easier now so that you don't have... I hate to throw agencies under the bus, but it's like... part of the reason why I started this whole process is because of the ambiguity of an agency, right? It's so much. There's so many things that people don't know what they're paying for, and where's the ROI that it gets complex when you're trying to talk about operations. Because remember, I said that every business owner should be just fascinated with operations, because that's where a business bleeds in bandwidth and time all the time. Insert human here should be perfect. It shouldn't be, we're busy. Insert human here. Okay? You should be able to know exactly when to scale based on data metrics. Okay? And that's where I'm getting at. So the URL, sure, it's going to have copy. Sure, it's going to have graphic work. Sure, it's going to be on a platform. Maybe it's customized. But now you can understand that we're going to focus on what's under the hood, right? Focus on the integrations under the hood. So if you move forward, we can move forward instantly, and you know what we're doing. Okay, we know exactly. We're just going to have more cables automatically plugged in with automatic technologies, cloud to cloud. Let's rock and roll. Okay? And if you want later, you can move to a different web host. You can have a different web development team. It's up to you. You can move these responsibilities around because you know how now, in a way, right? So if you want to do like a customized website and host it in like a digital ocean, like what we do over here, you can. You know, maybe you have more, but this is to course correct where you might be, or if you're a startup, course correct before you do. Right? Because now you can see what we're going to go why we're going to do this in the future. So if you watch or listen to other podcasts in this 30 set, they all connect. Okay? So I suggest if you're a startup or you're trying to accelerate this journey by watching or listening, point to Squarespace. And then obviously communicate with the automated method, because that's what we're here for. But what I'm going to say is that now you know that you're on a platform that's going to stay around for a while. You know, they've been around for a while and they're doing quite well. And now you can kind of learn that interface if you wanted to learn that interface. Get me? And then you could just assign, because there's you can put in an email address of someone that has access to content or administration that isn't you, and it sends them an email and they can go in and actually do stuff in Squarespace for you. You see what I'm saying? See, that's why I love these platforms. Because you can assign specialists the permissions, and, just by putting in their email address, they will have to log into the platform. They should know how to use it, because that's what you're connecting them for, and that's their specialty. You see, that's where the cloud power comes in. They could be called advisors, whatever, but that's what we're getting at. So then you, in your ecosystem, control those advisors per platform for each piece of your business. So the URL can now have a Squarespace, designer, developer, advisor, administrator that isn't you. And then you just have to communicate to that person your executive decisions. You see where I'm going with this? Okay, the URL.